Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Here are the 35 most disturbing footage found on YouTube. From bizarre and unexplained phenomena to shocking and disturbing content, YouTube has seen it all. Brace up and let's dive in. What happens in this car park would shock you. This clip starts as a normal car park, but things soon starts getting very scary. Winds from different angles can be seen gushing out, and it seems as though a dark force is about to hit the park. Suddenly, the headlamp of all the cars in the park starts blinking, and a strange creature then appears in the middle of the park. As it walks down the park, chaos can be seen unfolding as papers fly in all directions, and nothing seems to be normal. This cow is in for a scary night when he is met by a mysterious creature. This scene rolls out with a cow seen on a field at nighttime. This animal is then observed to be very worried as he moves from one place to another. Suddenly, a mysterious creature appears in this scene and is slowly moving towards the cow. The cow then fixed his eyes on the creature, as though it was speaking to it. The creature then vanishes into thin air. No one would definitely want to be in this situation. A woman who decides to get some stuff from her Arctic is shocked when she notices strange movements. She immediately puts out her phone to record everything that is going on, and then her camera captures something very, very creepy. As she reaches out to grab some stuff from the Arctic, an empty can of soda is seen moving on its own, as though it was being kicked by an invisible creature. She then also notices other strange sounds and movements coming from this Arctic. This victim doesn't know, but he is about to have the most terrifying feeling of his life. A surveillance camera captures this creepy event. A man was seen walking down the corridors of his workplace when he is met by sudden danger. As he is about to make a turn, he is being pushed to by an extremely violent force that raises him up and slams him to the wall. Then this violent force begins to drag him into the dark. Fortunately for this worker, he manages to wriggle his way out of the clutches of this mysterious beast and runs away quickly. Buckle up your seatbelts because this creepy scene is going to take you on a roller coaster of goosebumps. This creepy clip starts with a worker cleaning up this restaurant. When he notices a chair moving on his own, he then continues to work, but another chair in front of him is seen quickly dashing away on its own. The restaurant worker then decides to check what is really happening. If you look very closely enough, you're going to be shocked by what he sees. On the surface, this looks like a regular man shopping, but what is seen on the CCTV footage would leave you shocked.
Check this out, right? This guy here, watch behind his head. Keep watching. Just look at the shelf.
The CCTV footage of a store shows a very strange activity that occurs. As this man is seen inspecting something he wants to purchase, an item placed on the shelf at this man's back begins to move on its own. It starts levitating towards this man.
It's the weirdest thing. I don't know.
Oh my god, that looks like a poltergeist.
The man hears sounds and then bends down to pick up the fallen item, and then this levitating item is seen falling back to the ground on its own. If this wasn't caught on camera, no one would have believed it. This scene starts with a hidden camera placed in the forest in the middle of the night. This camera captures everything that happens, but then the camera captures something very strange. This creature is seen coming out from the deep and staring right into the camera. It knows we are watching it. It then begins to fade in and out from one spot in the forest to another until it isn't noticed anymore by the lens of the hidden camera. Can you live in this haunted house alone? This creepy scene starts with what seems like a normal room, but soon after things take a very scary turn. The camera captures the presence of a highly chaotic spirit coming into the room. As it enters the scene, it is seen causing turbulence and destruction, moving all furniture about and clearing everything that comes in its way. Would you be able to survive living in this haunted house? This is another troubling sight caught on camera that you won't believe. This creepy scene starts as the kitchen of a home is captured on camera. Suddenly, a cup on the table of this kitchen is seen slowly moving on its own. The camera then switches to other parts of this haunted home, and paranormal scenes are caught by the security camera of the home.
What is that?
Suddenly, a man is seen recording moments of this haunted home when he notices something very strange staring at him. He immediately jumps up and turns on the light to see what that is, but the creature has already vanished into thin air. Another creepy paranormal scene is captured on camera, and you won't believe what happens in it. This video clip starts when a security camera in a bathroom captures objects in the bathroom moving and falling on its own. Suddenly, the camera switches to the room, and an object from the counter is seen flying up and smashing itself on the ground. Then this scary footage shows the kitchen of the house, and just as this security camera rotates, it seems like it is then being quickly attacked by a strange force that knocks the camera to the ground. This creepy scene shows just more than meets the eye. The security camera of this hospital captures a dead patient lying on a hospital bed, but then things get scary. If you look very closely, you can see a white glimpse of light coming out of this body. It looks like the ghost of this dead body coming out of his body. This mysterious spirit can then be seen vanishing into thin air just before the doctors notice anything that happened. This seamster is going to experience something he won't soon forget. A seamster finishes up his job for the day at the beginning of this film. After that, he sets up his workspace and prepares to return home when a very strange occurrence happens. Just as he is about to open his door, a few items fall out of his shelf by themselves, as though someone invisible is pushing them. After noticing this strange phenomenon, he returns to get the objects and puts them back on the shelf. But just as he's about to leave again, he sees the items dropping to the ground once more. This seamster is then very startled and confused as he observes everything. This might seem like an ordinary video at first, but things then begin to get very weird. A bunch of students can be seen sleeping on the floor in a school, but then things take a very strange turn for them. One of the students sleeping on the floor can be seen getting up from the floor and quickly crawling away from the scene as if being possessed by a ghost. He then crawls to the edge of the room and decides to sleep there. At first sight, this is just a man making a call, but something is afoot. This man was heading into a building while making a call, completely unaware that his fate was about to change. In the blink of an eye, a strange white light, almost like a ghost, zipped past him. He immediately collapsed to the ground, dead. The suddenness of this left people who watched this CCTV footage shocked, as they were unable to understand how quickly things had turned from ordinary to tragic for the man who was just moments ago on his phone. Little does this woman know that she is going to have one of the creepiest encounters ever. On a Friday night in a hotel, a woman is seen sitting in the cafeteria area of this hotel, but then things go down badly for her. This woman notices that one of the plates on the cafeteria table starts to move by itself. She gets frightened immediately and picks up her phone trying to call for help, but another chair in front of her moves quickly and then all hell breaks loose. She gets up from her seat and immediately tries to escape, but then loads of chairs and tables are seen flying to the door, preventing her from escaping. She couldn't believe her eyes, screaming and crying. She then instantly faints and falls to the ground. Hold on real tight because this video is going to send you more shockwaves than an electric battery. This starts up as a normal living room, but then something out of the extraordinary is seen. A chair in the middle of the room is seen moving by itself. It rocks as if an invisible creature is sitting on it, and very soon something very creepy happens. A huge creature comes out from the depths of the room and rushes to the camera, looking in a way that would not doubt give anyone chills. This looks like a regular kitchen, but something out of the ordinary is about to happen here. A wall-mounted camera captures this creepy moment. We can see something moving around on the kitchen table. Suddenly, a bottle starts slowly levitating. It goes so high in the air that one would begin to wonder if it had wings. And suddenly, the bottle then drops straight to the ground. A few moments later, another item was seen on the shelf of the kitchen falling on its own. Look very closely, something very creepy happens in this video. At the beginning of this scene, we can see a girl sleeping on her bed, but suddenly she starts levitating while sleeping. She goes higher and higher until she reaches the roof. And if you just look very close to your screen, something very strange can be seen. Suddenly, a scary-looking creature appears in front of the camera and screams as if it has come for a fight. That was surely a scary scene, wasn't it? Danger lurking around the woods for this unsuspecting motorbike. This motorbike rider was seen driving his bike on a roadway in the woods, but little did he know he was about to get the shock of his life. As he drives towards the end of the road, he notices a strange figure appear to his front. He quickly steps down from his bike to be sure of what he saw. Suddenly, that same figure shows up again and makes a loud noise, causing this bike rider to run for his life and even leave his bike on the scene. Would you drive at night in these woods? If this wasn't captured on camera, nobody would believe it. The security camera of this warehouse captures an intriguing scene of a mysterious person. During a lunch break at a warehouse, a mysterious person is captured by the security camera disappearing into the warehouse. After being noticed by the security camera, the person then disappears and leaves no trace behind. Could this be the sight of a ghost? Or is this just a man with superpowers? This paranormal scene caught on camera would leave you terrified. After hearing strange sounds, this man quickly picks up his phone and starts recording his home. He then decides to check in the basement of his home. While entering the basement, he notices a very strange sound in his kitchen and goes upstairs to check it out. Immediately as he goes back upstairs, he quickly notices that the chairs in his kitchen are perfectly stacked on top of each other. With fear written all over him, he is visibly seen shaking and breathing heavily. You won't want to stay alone in this house. This scary scene starts with a man recording every angle of his home when he hears something very suspicious. He hears creaking noises from his house and decides to see what is going on. Little did he know he is in for a little trick or treat. As he moves the lens of his camera, he sees a small white creature standing at the door, looking at him, and then quickly vanishing into thin air. What kind of creature do you think that is? This lady gets a surprising and scary visitor while sleeping at night. This creepy video shows a woman sleeping in bed when she is suddenly disturbed by a mysterious, invisible creature. While sleeping, the security camera shows this woman's blanket being dragged away from her body. The woman notices that she doesn't have her blanket on her anymore and wakes up trying to put it back on, but then something strange happens. As this woman puts her blanket back on, this mystical creature drags the blanket from her once more, and she is then woken up with fear written everywhere on her face. If not recorded, no one would believe this creepy scene. The security camera of a house captures this creepy scene. Everything appears to be normal in this man's home when suddenly the lights of his home start flashing vigorously. An empty package box is then seen moving slowly on its own. What strange phenomenon could be causing all this? Are ghosts real? This scary scene would change your mind. This Arctic seems like a fun one to be in, but something strange was recorded in it. The chair in this Arctic is seen to suddenly start moving by itself, with no presence of anyone in the room. Then suddenly, a horse toy is also seen moving by itself and starts rocking itself too. Strange things are sure happening here. This house owner's kitchen gets a very suspicious visitor. Late at night, in what seems like a regular kitchen, this man's house camera captures a very suspicious activity. As the video starts, the man's kitchen shelves are seen opening one after the other, and items from the shelf keep falling as though an invisible creature was roaming his kitchen. With no one in the home, the kitchen lights switch on, and suddenly a bowl of fruits placed on the table is dragged away to the grounds by this invisible creature. Do you believe in ghosts? This is one of the creepiest things to be recorded. At first, this looks to be a regular home with a dad and his kid. The man is seen putting his baby to sleep in her cradle, but the disaster strikes.
Échate. Shh. Muy bien.
The man leaves his baby in her cradle and his dog is seen looking after her. Suddenly, the dog hears a strange sound and rushes downstairs to check. The dog is then heard barking loudly as if it just saw a strange creature. Silence then hits the house and the dog is seen lying lifeless on the ground. The dad rushes out and carries the dog quickly to the doctor, but the worst is yet to come. As the man leaves the house, his wife goes upstairs to check on their baby when she is grabbed by her legs and dragged down the stairs by an invisible creature. She is dragged into a wardrobe, and nothing but silence can be heard. This will shock you because it's hard to explain. This video appears to be just a picture of a girl sleeping off on her bed, but then something unexpected happens. The girl's room door opens by itself while she's sleeping, giving the impression that a ghost has just entered. Then, all of the objects on the girl's shelf start to fall out one by one, and her room chair can be seen rocking by itself. The girl, however, remains motionless as she continues to sleep soundly on her bed despite this. Thermal camera captures something strange that would leave you shocked. A thermal camera recently captured a spooky scene in this military base camp, leaving people both curious and unsettled. The footage shows a cold, ghostly figure moving through an empty room as the security camera moves to the side. The camera then rotates again to the same side where it saw this figure earlier, but this time, nothing is seen. This weird spirit becomes annoyed when it discovers that the person doesn't notice it. It scatters everything in the room and then furiously rushes out of the room. This looks like a normal tourist trip, but what happens next would leave you speechless. A group of tourists decided to go on a trip to Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland, but they get the shock of their lives as something strange is captured on camera by one of the tourists.
Look.
As the tourist starts taking video of this sight, he quickly notices a loud notice, and then his video shows a hidden cave that immediately shuts itself close. What creepy creatures could be living inside? Listen closely, what do you hear? This hiker is in for a surprise. This very creepy scene starts as a normal trail cam video of a hiker who went strolling in the woods. Suddenly something very strange is observed. The trail cam of this hiker then captures a very creepy sound, and if you just listen very closely, you would hear it too. It looks like a mystical creature in the woods screaming at one another in a very high-pitched tone. Something is on this trail, and it is coming for this hiker. Being caught in this situation is not something you would love to experience. This very strange woman is spotted walking about in the streets of Seattle. However, what she does next would leave you shocked. She can be seen yelling and screaming at herself as she walks through the streets. Her hair and face look like she has just been bitten by a zombie, and she is walking in a very strange way. Soon after, the police can be seen attempting to talk to the woman and find out what's wrong with her, while also trying to calm her down, but she doesn't listen to them and continues to rant and shout. After that, the police are compelled to physically capture her and take her to the hospital. "Do not take me to the hospital. I don't want to go to the hospital," she can then be heard screaming. Nighttime in a house garage, but look very carefully to your right, and you will see a white, strange figure walking through this garage. What's the figure, and where is it heading to? As the footage rolls, a white, creepy figure is immediately seen walking through a car garage. Its body is as thin as an action figure. It is seen quickly running away from the lens of this CCTV camera. Just then, something else very creepy is observed. A small animal, which appears to be a cat or dog, quickly notices this creepy figure and starts following it. The animal is seen coming out of his house and starts trailing this creature to an unknown place. At first sight, this is just an ordinary CCTV footage, but what it captures tells just more than that. On a quiet night in South Africa, CCTV footage captures this scary scene, and you might just be shocked by what it shows. This very scene starts with footage of an unidentified character appearing from thin air in a car park. It is seen that this character is dressed in an all-white garment and what seems like a witch's broom. It then places its witch broom on the floor and starts dancing above it in what looks like a gesture of appreciation for the witch broom. Where do you think this character comes from? And what is its intention? This is one of the creepiest things to be recorded. A man is sitting in an empty, white room at the beginning of this creepy scene. The man is seen eating soup from a bowl at the beginning of the short scene, and then all of a sudden, something odd is noticed. The man is approached by a massive mascot who seems to make him cry while the man eats his soup. The man keeps on crying, and suddenly something strange happens. Another mascot entered into the scene, and now both of them are consoling this soup-eating guy. What do you think might be making this man cry? And what are these mascots doing in an empty room?